Now we're live. Phil hates it when I say that. Now we're live. Hello, everyone. it is us, the Wargamer Online people, with Mr. Wargamer Viking.
Hello, boys.
Same as last week, although we've got Mike with us this week. So Mike did join us on our mid-week channel update that we did. He didn't say much. I thought he'd gone off the call a couple of times, so I didn't actually realise he was still there until the end when I disconnected. But you are finally with us now, Mike, so hello.
Hello.
We've got a bunch of questions that we're going to go through. We've got a bunch of topics, and we've also got a load of stuff from our Facebook group to show, and I think we're going to start with that, aren't we, Phil?
Yes.
We'll get straight into the goodness. So, actually, you know what? Before we go on to that, we'll do the weekly hobby update, and then we'll go on to the Facebook pictures. What is everybody up to? So, we'll start with you, Spud. What have you been doing this week?
I have actually done. Well, technically done nothing this week, but like from last time we spoke, I built that Inquisitorial warband thing.
Yeah.
If that really counts, and then an edited video, and that's it really. Nothing too extreme. I've just been looking for parts and stuff online to just random bits to continue the creations. No painting whatsoever, just building. I've just been on a proper build binge after being inspired by WargamerOnline, just to build things instead. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it well done. It looks kind of inspired by John Blanche as well, so you've got the warband style thing that you're going for there. It looks good. Are we going to have another Space Marine Sunday on the next Sunday coming up?
I don't know yet. I'd like one. It just depends what happens between now and Sunday.
See if that happens.
I would say I break up on Friday, so I'll have 2 weeks. So I might try and get as many videos done and get them all ready. I say that it's definitely not going to happen, but
going to try and be scheduled with it.
Yeah, I always try my best.
That's good.
So.
The other thing that I was going to ask is ChillCon. Is there anything? I've noticed that the traders, have they all been confirmed now?
Yeah, it's all been confirmed. It's all set in stone. It's all on the blog, on the Facebook, on the ChillCon Facebook. You go on that, and it's got all the traders, all the participation games that are definitely 100% coming. And then Steve's been sneaking pictures out of the official ChillCon model that you can actually get it. I found out actually now you can actually get it at ChillCon and after the show.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. My own show, I didn't know that, but it's fine.
Well, I'm quite excited. I think KR multi-case guys are going to be there, aren't they?
Yep.
And I need some new foam, so hopefully they're going to bring some bits along and I can buy what I need from them.
Foam for the foam gods.
Yes. Okay.
Those of you that know, Sam designs his armies based on whether they will or won't in a KR case. Seriously. He's like, I've got 2 heavy supports. You're not going to go for a third? No, because there's no room in my case.
Yes! That's a well sick idea.
It's not sick. It's not sick. It's really bad because it limits your army choice. I've now gone for very heavy infantry-based armies because I can fit more in the case. And I've just sold my Spartan to Steve. And I can now fit my 3,000 point Space Wolf list into a single KR case. And I'm so happy about that. More than actually playing the army, I'm more happy about the case being perfect. So, my little satisfaction.
It's one case as well. That makes it even better. One case, one army, all nice and organised.
Yeah.
All these baked beans in date order. It's fantastic.
I do get a bit upset if I have to fit it into a double case. Because I think, could have been single, but never mind. Anyway, we'll ignore the OCD. I'm going to say, go through the guys in the chat. We've got guys and girls today. We've got Steve Forrest. Hello. We've got Kiblams. Hello again. Dance Macabre. Henry. Who else have we got? Corvus Miniatures. Frost and Fist. Hello. And the Wargamer Viking is on there as well.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Bunch of people already on there. So that's awesome. Right.
I just want to say, hey Henry, how you doing, man? Have you signed up to the website like you promised?
yeah, put him on the spot. Henry, have you been on the website?
Live.
He was like, "I'll be the first person to sign up." I was like, "Okay."
Willie Wilson's joined as well. Wilson has joined the website, which is brilliant. What have you been doing, Phil?
Right. Okay. A bunch of stuff. It kind of hobby related. There's been a bunch of work going on the website. Obviously, we kind of went sort of quietly live last weekend. So there was a few things I've been tweaking. I've added a contact us form so people can get hold of us if they've got any questions or any problems. There was like an email link, but I've turned it into a proper form. I'm working on a new section to the website as well. So that's not about video content. That's about people being able to kind of engage with us. So there's going to be like sort of questionnaires on there and forms on there where people can do things like, say, request a tutorial or contact us if they'd like to come for a battle report. And again, it's early days. We have managed to kind of identify a possible venue to do battle reports, to host battle reports with other gamers as well. So that's cool. I mean, we've got a location, but this one has give everyone a bit more space, really. So yeah, the arranging all of that, polishing the site up a little bit, linking all the pages. So that's taken a chunk of my hobby time up this week, to be fair. Other than that, I have been kind of getting excited. It's never going to work, is it? Because my camera's terrible today, as you
No,
informed.
you're like 20 years in the past in terms of video quality tonight.
Yeah, I'm working on... Thanks, Sam. I'm working on my Tyrannid Zone Mortalis doors, basically. So more of that.
Brilliant. And there's a lot more coming to the website. I've done another, there was 8 videos uploaded onto our servers recently. We've got to link them all up, release them. We're going to do at least 2 a week, and the next one's going to be out on the Friday, and then the next week we're going to do another 2. So for premium membership, there's a bunch of stuff heading over, and we're going to do a lot more behind the scenes and chat videos as well. So we've got to do that, which is exciting. But if you've got any questions in the meantime to ask us, or any topics you want to suggest, you can either post them on this on the comments on this video once this has gone live, finished going live, or you can put them on the Facebook group. I'll talk about the Facebook group in a moment. Got a few more people. We've got John Booth, hello. We have Green Stuff Games and Nurgling. So we've got a few more of you lot turning up. Excellent.
Can I just say that, like the other day, I did that video saying I didn't watch battle reports.
Yes.
Well, I kind of lied, and I watched like my first ever battle report the other day. Yes. And it was on WargamerOnline. I actually watched it all. I didn't really know what was going on.
That's fine. Really cool. We didn't. We got the rules wrong. Like, me and Mike both played the battle report, and the first rule that I had to do, which was infiltrate my Galvorback, I didn't realise they couldn't charge straight after, so I messed up that.
Well, neither of us knew that.
No. So we played. I mean, we both had fun. I definitely had fun because I won, even though I cheated. But
I knew that rule.
Yeah, we should have. We should have asked you.
I'm just kidding. I didn't have a clue.
Okay. What have I been doing, Mike? Actually, Mike, let's go through what you've been doing this week.
So I've been working more on my Skaven. So we've been trying to get some more battle reports out for Age of Sigmar. Yes. So I think there might even be a few pictures up on the community page, I think. I'm not sure what post it's under. So if you want to check them out there. Lots more rats to paint. And then obviously last week, me and you were doing some more battle reports.
Yeah, we've got one more still to edit. The problem is, I mean, that battle report that I put up took around 10 hours to edit. There's 4 cameras, and there's a lot of stuff involved with tweaking sound and video and things. So it's taken me a while to learn how to do all the editing on my little Mac. So I'm learning all of that. Hello, Lord Tattoo. That was just an intermission. I've set myself off. But yeah, there's going to be another battle report coming this Sunday. I don't know whether it's going to be an Age of Sigmar one or it's going to be another Zone Mortalis, but we've definitely got 2 more games worth of footage. One of them will be out this Sunday. So that was what we both did. Did you do anything else other than painting?
I don't think so. I've got lots more building to do, but then we are looking at doing a live stream of some of the painting that we're doing at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah, so that's another thing. This Friday we're going to aim to try and do live stream painting on YouTube, and we haven't figured out whether we're going to have 2 cameras worth of footage. We're definitely going to have my camera set up live, but we're going to try to get Mike to have his as well, so we can get both of us working on our projects, hook that up to YouTube, and then we can just chat to everybody while we're painting. So we're going to try that out this Friday. Haven't worked out the time yet, but it might be around midday in UK time. So that's good. I'll just quickly go over what I've done. I'm still doing Rachel's bases. They're getting to the final stages now. I'm putting loads of little flowery bits all on them. They look pretty nice. I'm not going to bother putting up pictures because they're all over the Facebook group page. And I've also been working on my big fat Glotkin conversion. It's there. It's huge. And there's loads of green stuff work that needs to be done on that. So that is my progress, other than editing and living on the internet. Shall we go on to Facebook group? We're on 15 minutes. Let's nail this Facebook group stuff. Right, so this week's theme was fantasy. We said anything fantasy related. We wanted to see all of the members' pictures that have been put up. If you want to enter next week's, we're going to be doing vehicles. So it's going to be any vehicle. You post your picture up on the post, which I will put up after this goes live. And it's pretty much, you just post up something you've been working on, and we all say, wow, that was amazing, and I want to see more. And then we all get inspired to paint stuff, and that's the idea behind it. And at the end of the week, we all pick one and showcase it on here. So first of all, we will go to Spud's, his choice, which was Dan Lavin, or Lavin, sorry if I butchered your name. It's a Slayer Dwarf bust. No, that's not it. That's Mike's. Sorry, we'll do Spud second. Mike chose this one. So professional.
Am I going first this time?
Yeah, Mike chose this bust. Why did you choose it, Mike?
Oh, it's a dwarf bust.
Yeah.
Straight away. I do love my busts. But it's all the different skin tones, the scarring, the blood, the ginger beard and the mohawk.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing for me. But it was only the other day that me and you were talking about dwarf busts from something that we'd worked on together. Which so immediately, as soon as I saw that picture, that came to mind. I definitely want to get my hands on some busts to paint myself, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an awesome model. Big thing. So, cracking
Good job.
Cracking job. Well done, Dan. Right, now we'll go on to Spuds. I almost clicked on a different one then. Now,
I'm sure I didn't choose that.
Yes, you did.
No,
I put it written down. All of this stuff is on the Facebook page, so you can see much bigger and better pictures. This is just so we can have a little bit of a chat about it. So, why did you pick this awesome banner? This is it's Andy SIngleton's Chaos Banner Bearer.
Yeah, I just liked loads about it. Like, I love the conversion work. I love the composition of it. That was a big word. It's got freehand on there. It really make an awesome centerpiece for an army as well.
Yeah,
it's actually like I've done research on this. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all written down. You've written it all down before the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I've written it down.
Professionalism.
On this post-it thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff, and it's huge as well. I mean, that model itself is big, but I can only imagine how big the banner is. So it's definitely a centerpiece model.
Yeah, it's awesome. Is that like Archeon as well? The old school Archeon.
It's not Archeon, but he's he's not as big as Archeon, but he's similar. They're all Chaos, aren't they? They're all given a set of armor. Everyone has a set of armor, but that one is his, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Rob Norton's joined us. Hello. Right, we will go on to the next one, which is Amanda Kopet's Tree Lord Ancient, which is picked by Phil.
Yep. It's great. I like this. I've done a whole bunch of the Sylvaneth, so I know what's involved in getting one of those things done. And there's a lot of detail on there. They're actually quite tricky to get round with the brush and all the rest. I really like the glow effects on the sort of runes. So you've got that inner glow coming through. So, and the base, it's got a spotty mushroom on. Come on, that's just the winner. I don't even know why you guys picked anything else when there's a base. There's a base with a spotty mushroom on. What more can you want? I'm really jealous of those bases because I thought I'd done really well with my Sylvaneth bases, and then I saw that one. I was like, ah.
She's definitely nailed it with foliage. I'm a bit jealous actually because I've just chucked these bases together for Rachel, and they're not anywhere near as good as those. So yeah, Amanda, you've done an awesome job with that one. So
yeah, well done.
And it's not just the base; the model's really nice as well. But the base,
well,
base is brilliant.
I covered the model. I was saying they're a tricky bit. You know, it's a tricky model. The glow effects she's done really, really well.
Yeah.
I quite like the claws. Again, you just don't quite. You know, when I was painting one of those, it's like, where do I go with this? Is that bone? Is it wood? Is it sort of metallic or minerally? Because some of the fluff in the background sort of says they craft their weapons out of minerals from the ground, which in the end, that's the sort of route I went with. But yeah, it's like I say, they're not an easy model to do. There's paid attention to a lot of the detail, and then topped it off with an amazing base. So good stuff.
Brilliant. Right, we will go to the last one, which was my pick, and there was tons of stuff. I mean, the thing about this Facebook group, if anybody does want to go on this, it is Wargamer Online Space Community. I forgot what the group was. Just ask to join. Somebody will accept you, and then you can join in on this. But there's so many really good bits of work going up at the minute. I'm proper jealous with the speed. James from Without a Clue Wargaming is just chucking out armies quicker than I can eat a hot dinner. You've got Moggy Miniatures. He's just Forge World goodness 24/7. Every single day there seems to be something new and shiny that he's done. And there's a bunch of other guys doing different systems. There's been some World War II Warlord game things gone up. There's been tons of really good action. But the last one that I have chosen was Elstonations Nagash model. And you definitely need to check this on the Facebook page because this picture doesn't do it justice. It's a massive model. He's done a brilliant job with it. And it's just huge. Sam's like, yeah, Sam's got a fetish for bases. I do have a fetish for bases. Elstonation has done a cracking job on this base as well. I mean, on top of the model.
Bases and faces, Sam. Bases and faces.
Bases and faces is the one thing you need to try and nail. Other than that, it's great.
Lord Tattoo wants to know if you saw his bases as well, mate.
I've seen all the bases. I love them.
Get your base out.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. You know what? We're gonna do one week. It will be the theme. Will be bases, and we'll just go through the best ones.
Can we title that one "All Your Base Are Belong to Us" for those gamers out there?
Okay. Rob said I'll have to get a good pick of my Revenant Titan. Yes, we will have huge models. My rabbit is going crazy in the background.
We can't hear
talking all that bit.
Rachel's rabbit is just ripping up his cage. He's raging. He's like, crazy. All right, we'll go on to the next thing, which will be a question. So we had a question from g.ambulance.service, and they have asked, with GW releasing models like the Primarchs in 40k, do you think there will be a time when they will be out of ideas for WoW model releases? So really, can GW keep releasing miniatures and maintain the quality and the shock that they're getting? I think every time they're releasing a model, we'll discuss that. Start with Phil.
Yeah. Well, the short answer is yes, I think. And the evidence for that with me is they just keep upping the ante. You know, is there a finite amount of greatness to a model that they can achieve? I don't know. Every release that they go with, okay, not every release because there's kind of a personal taste thing, but they're certainly not disappointing, are they? Okay, so I'm not big on Marines, but I appreciate the Guilliman model. It's amazing. I appreciate the Cypher model. That's just a stunning pose. The Eldar Triumvirate. Sorry, Sam, I know how upset you get about that. That was just incredible. The avatar of Ined was just amazing. Absolutely love that model. So, a lot of it's been driven, and I know we've had this debate over 3D sculpting when we were over on Chilling Wargamer. A lot of it's driven by capabilities of what they can do with 3D sculpting. But in terms of poses and the impact and the visual impact and the ease to model them, and to a degree as well, the consideration of the hobbyist. In other words, they make the detail easy to pick out. There's a lot more sculpted detail now, so you can get great tabletop-ready paint schemes done with relatively basic techniques. So yeah, for me, I think they're just going to keep going. Is it about size or is it about detail? There's a limit on how big a model can get. The Magnus model, I saw that face to face for the first time at the weekend, and it's just stunning. It's like 70% wings, but even so, it's just amazing.
There's a lot going off on the model. I think the thing that in that question for me was the sheer amount of characters that they've got in the universe just in 40k alone, that for me they can. I mean, obviously the plastics are amazing. The stuff that they can keep making is always going to be high quality and it's going to look good regardless of what you do to it. But just on the basis of can they keep making models as big as Magnus, they've got every other Primarch that they can bring back. You've got all of the Demon Primarchs, you've got all of the other races and their heroes, and what are the Eldar things called? The Phoenix Lords. You've got those that they could bring back into it, and they could have some huge dynamic looking Phoenix Lords. So they've built up this massive wealth of background and characters, and all they need to do is get one of the guys in the studio just to sit down for I'm not going to say a couple of days because it takes some months to do this sort of stuff, but just sit down and focus and make this character look amazing. And they've got enough people. I think Rob's just said there's 36 people in the studio working on characters and design. You know, give Barry over there a project to do, and he's going to make it look amazing. So they're big enough to do these releases in future, and I think it's just crossing your fingers that they bring one out for your faction, or you have to start a new army. Or I do anyway. Spud, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you guys have pretty much covered everything, really. I think they just because they brought like the biggest like fanboy like Primarch out, so it's gonna be hard to put up against him. But I think some of the like underdogs like Dawn, especially if a Primarch comes out what Forge World haven't brought out, I think that's gonna be quite a strong one to bring out. So if they did bring like Dawn out, like the and like
got Sanguinius, that's pretty.
Yeah. I think if they brought even though I hate Blood Angels, it was still quite good to like see what they do with him, and bring like even some like the Necron guys out, you know, like the proper gods. I think that'd be pretty sweet as well. I know everyone goes on about Primarchs, but I think like bringing gods out from other factions and stuff, or like bigger like character kind of things, I think they're pretty sweet as well. I think that's the only way they do it. Like, and I think at the moment, like everything that they're bringing out, like up until Gulliman, I think like Magnus and then like the Sister Battle thing and something else, and then the Gulliman come out in like a massive thing. So it's gonna be quite hard to go over the top of Gulliman with the next release. What's obviously Mortarion, but like it's still gonna be pretty hard to get over the top of that now.
Yeah, that's well said.
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, I'm going to agree with you all there. The thing is like year after year, models are getting better and better. I can't think of the last time I looked at a model that they released and thought, no, that's awful. So you've got all the older models that they could redo to bring up to date to the same standards as everything else. But then there's nothing then stopping them from introducing new armies, as we've seen over the years as it is. So I think there's always going to be there where you'll have
Yeah.
I think that sometimes there's going to be times where not everyone's happy with it, but other people will be.
Yeah, there was a lot of debate on Gilliman, wasn't there, on whether people liked it or not. Some people preferred 30k one, some people preferred the 40k one. I think it's preference. There'll always be that.
Well, it was like the first time I saw the Gilliman model, I wasn't that keen on it. But then the more that I'd seen it, with paint and without paint, I started to fall in love with it myself. So I think at some point that's going to be something that I'm going to want to get hold of.
Yeah, definitely.
It is an interesting point you raised there, Mike, about seeing something without the paint on as well, because I think the paint, you know, when Games Workshop kind of release a model, obviously they want to show it painted. And to a degree, sometimes the paint scheme that they employ can put you off a model. And then you see the raw plastic, and you're like, wow. I don't know. We're going to talk about the new Dwarves or whatever they're called now. Sorry, Sam, I know I should know that name.
Kharadron Overlords.
Kharadron Overlords. In this month's White Dwarf, they've got the pictures of the vehicles without paint on, and I like them anyway. But I'm even more in love with them after seeing the raw plastic. You just go, wow. You know, you can really you can see, you know, options for yourself in terms of painting. Not that I'm getting to do them, Sam, because it's your army. We all know that.
Well, I think everyone's going to do them now. I was going to do them because at first everyone was going, "Oh, I don't want to do these sky dwarves. They're a bit rubbish." And now everyone's fallen in love with them, so I might back off. I think, you know what, we're going to the next question, which isn't really a question. It's more about talking to Spud about how excited he is with the Kharadron Overlord. So tell us, Spud, what's happening in Age of Sigmar land with you?
I am Age of Sigmar. No, it's just really mind-blowing. To be honest, I haven't even read that much. I just keep looking at the pictures like every day.
Yeah.
It's just, they're so sick. I like literally, I obviously I don't really know when the White Dwarf comes. I like it were on the table and I was like, oh, I know what's in it this month. I'd not seen any sneak peeks. I just don't believe anything on the internet. And I opened it and I was like, oh my god, oh my. And then I was flicking through, and I was just like, this is just amazing. I am Age of Sigmar. This is it. So,
in fairness, Spud, I mean, they have basically based an army on you, haven't they? So you just it's
a shorter version.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Shorter metal-clad Spuds.
Yeah, they took our idea from last week, haven't they? And they've just designed it overnight.
We're going to need Age of Sigmar Saturdays now, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, I thought about that. Yeah, Sigmar Saturdays. More content. Maybe like when I get my stuff ready, like I really like the like Dark Sigmar. I don't know if you've seen on like Facebook that
yes,
group's proper.
Absolutely love it.
That is amazing, that place, and that's kind of where I got like all my inspiration to do 40k. But I'd love to do some fantasy ones as well, and then have like some sort of warband thing that I've always wanted to do. But having those guys just like as a little army would be pretty sick as well.
Yeah. Kibble Hamza said the same. Dwarves have drawn my attention, I must admit. There's a lot of people that have turned their opinions around now, which is good. I think it's showing that initial thoughts can always change, can't they? When you think about it and you look at it a bit more, they always can get better.
I think again, Games Workshop have taken a good direction in terms of leaking content or addressing leak content. So a bad image gets out and they're quick to follow up with high quality images because I think they've learned that first impressions count. So sometimes I remember when the Wraith Knight for Eldar leaked, and someone had taken a hurried picture of the White Dwarf, and the White Dwarf was at an angle. So what you got was like perspective on the photo, but they cropped it so you couldn't tell the perspective was there. And it made it, I mean, the Wraith Knight's legs are about 2/3 of the model anyway, but it made the legs look about 3/4 of the model, and it made it look like he got massive feet and a tiny torso. And of course, everyone was like, that's awful, that looks horrible, And then, of course, when the actual photos came out, they're going, oh, okay. But then you're already on your back foot, aren't you? You're already trying to kind of get over that first impression. So I think they're doing right to not only give images quickly, but also volume. When they just went with that release and just said, yeah, this is coming out, there's just like 30 photos straight away, wasn't it? And it's
it's Christmas for me in that morning.
Yeah, proper giddy.
Yeah, and also reading some of the background, I've not seen much of it, but I don't know where I've read this or heard about it. Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be, but they've got, rather than having like cities or towns or anything, they've got these giant airships. Like there's 6 of these huge airships, and all of these other sky pirates just dock up next to them and just dump off all of their gold and things, and then go back out and raid somewhere else. I just think that's brilliant background-wise. You just got these floating bases. It's brilliant.
They're filled in a massive gap, aren't they? Because they've never really had like a. I think I mentioned like proper years ago. Like they've never hit like the steampunk era of fantasy or 40k. Like they've always like stayed away from it. But it's such a massive like thing in our community. Like people love it.
Yeah.
And I think with this, they've like proper tickled everyone. With it.
Advanced it a little bit further, but not going to the sci-fi level.
Well, I think, isn't it great they've done it within the fantasy, which is where, in my mind, that's where steampunk belongs. There's just steam-powered equipment, that idea. Whereas a steampunk aesthetic inside 40k makes no sense for me. Sticking with the gothic aesthetic for me, that's what works for me in 40k. So to bring it into Sigmar was just a genius move. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And we've got a couple of comments here. Green Stuff Game saying it was love at first sight. Nurgling is saying, by the way, Spud, that he sculpted a head for his Citadel giant based on you. So if you can check Nurgling's latest video, obviously when we've finished our stream, but
Yeah. I'll be right back. Yeah,
what else is going off there? Well, carry on, Sam. There's a few more comments. I'll have a quick look down them.
Carry on, okay. Shall we go on to another question? Are we, Mike? Do you want to say anything about Sky Dwarves? Are you going to start them?
I need to see them in person. It's one of those where it's going back to what I was saying with whether they can do any more WoW models. Still, I'm not crazy on them. But the likelihood, if I saw them in person when they've not been painted and stuff, I'll probably change my mind and I'll immediately want to start an army of them.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, you'll see them because I'll buy them, or Phil will buy them. Or
It
Spud's
always
buying
happens
them.
when
There's gonna
something
be
new
enough
comes
people.
out. I don't like it. Interested. Oh, let's have a look. Oh no, that's more money.
Yeah.
I need to buy a new army.
Yeah. Every release. Just going to go through. We've got Nurgling painting, trying to desperately paint everything I own before my wife drops our little one in June. So congratulations on that one, Nurgling.
Congratulations.
I wonder what the child's going to be called. Is it going to be something suitable 40k?
Yeah.
Good thing.
Does that mean Nurgling's going to have to rebrand himself as Papa Nurgle?
Papa. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
God. Yes. Okay, we'll go to the next question. Next topic. We will go on to who is your favourite Primarch and why? And we're going to start. Spud, do you want to start, or Mike? One of the two of you can start.
I'll let Mike go first. I'm going to look at my Primarch list next to me and pick one.
It's written down on your post-it note.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, while you're reading up which one it is, Mike, which one's your favourite Primarch and why?
This one was a tough one for me because I'm not great on fluff, as you well know. So I'm probably going to get a lot of this wrong, but I did have a Salamander army at one point, so I think I'd have to go for Vulcan.
Yes.
And this big bounding brute coming through a wall with a giant hammer. It doesn't really get any better than that, to be honest.
Yeah. He's a beast as well, in rules terms. And in background, actually, because...
yes.
Yeah, he's a monster.
But it's like the other thing, like this would be going back to the new models that GW release as well, isn't in the story, and you may have to correct me on this, that in the Salamander fluff, that they're looking for artifacts that they believe when they find them all that Vulcan will return.
Yeah, he'll turn up again. So
I could be wrong on this one.
I think they've got like little crusades where they go out to go and find all of their artifacts so they can bring back the Primarch. It's like their little mission.
Which would be good. And if they've already brought Gilliman out and then it's looking like it'd be Mortarion, who knows, we might see Vulcan come back as well. Which I think would be that'd be an awesome model.
Are we going to see? We'll talk another time. I don't think we're going to have time today, but we're starting the Tale of Warlords between us. So we'll go through which 40k armies we're going to be doing, but we'll go into detail that on another, maybe later on in the week or next week. We'll have a topic on that. Okay, yeah, awesome guy, Spud.
Oh, it's so difficult.
It's because there's so many.
I think overall, I'm gonna go for Fulgrim. Like the Horus Heresy book for Fulgrim is just a proper badass. And just like how much he changes from being like this like elegant badass to being like a elegant kinky badass. Like he's just really like, and he obviously like technically has killed the most other Primarchs as well, and it knocks out an Avatar. So is a pretty tough guy, and like. It's like the model, to be honest, right? I don't really like the model itself. But as a character as a whole, for book-wise, Fulgrim would definitely have it for me, like just overall badassery.
Yeah. It's one of the first books in the Heresy as well. I don't know if you've read the Fulgrim book, but it was It was one of my favourites up until the bit where they started throwing things at the wall and it all went a bit crazy. But until that point,
yeah,
you know,
no, that's why I kind of I don't know, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
but like that's why I kind of like liked it all. Like it went through like the entire like how they changed and stuff like that. And I think I like with Fabio Spiles cutting people's arms off and sticking them on their heads and stuff, and just doing weird stuff like that. They were really awesome, and like just people obviously doing rude things and paintings and stuff. It was sick.
Yeah, all in
I really
perfection.
Yeah.
Well, we might be coming back. I mean, that's one that there's a lot of rumours of already in 40k, so he could be coming back, but in proper demon serpent form, so we'll see on that one.
Yeah, there's got to be boobs on there.
Yeah, probably about 8. Phil, who's your favourite? Don't shout Magnus.
Magnus! I think it has to be Magnus. It's an interesting... I like his story. I have to say, and I'm going to say this carefully in case I create some kind of internet rage, but I think all of the Primarchs can be doofuses at the best of times, and that there's a lot of they just do daft things, don't they, which lead obviously to the heresy and beyond, and that can be frustrating. So sometimes it's hard to actually like any of them because they go and do something idiotic, and for some godlike creature to make such a colossal mistake at times is like, Magnus, I need to warn my father, so I'll destroy the psychic defense of the planet. I'm going to mention mate, just send an email. You know what I mean? It's like
it wasn't a psychic email, it was just a very long one.
With a virus attached,
Yeah.
So, but saying that, all that to one side, I think it has to be Magnus. I like the whole Thousand Sons sort of background story. These scholars who are thirsty for knowledge and just want to, and I can't remember which one of the books it is. It's either the Thousand Sons or it's the Burning of Prospero, where they follow the story of how the Thousand Sons engage with some of the remembrances and things like that. And I like the fact that the Thousand Sons and Magnus get closer to the humans, if you like, and and feel they've got a value, and also intrinsically understand that they're essentially building a future for the human race, and they need to bring them along and kind of get them up to speed and in terms of psychic powers and all the rest. So yeah, the whole Magnus and his magnanimous behavior is just fantastic. And it's also the tragedy towards the end, isn't it? The fact that Ross comes out there on sort of misguided orders from Horus, and which leads to the burning of Prospero, and that angst he feels at the end of does he or doesn't he fight back, and and in the end it just becoming too painful. So and reluctantly ending up on the wrong side, just because he has to, because he's left with no choice other than destruction. So it's nothing more than his own self sort of desire to survive, if you like, his self-preservation that drives him over to the wrong side of the wall. So that's what I like about it all. I'm desperate to see the 30k model, because as soon as that model comes out, I'm going heresy, super heresy. I'll be doing one of my no sleep until army complete sessions, and getting that Thousand Sons army done. And I don't know why, but it's that I don't like starting armies unless I've got an idea of everything, because from an aesthetics point of view, there might be something on the Magnus model that leads me to do little conversions or little changes to the bases of my character models in the army. So I need to kind of wait. I don't like starting an army not knowing where it's going to quite end. So I'm waiting for that, and as soon as that's out, Magnus.
How many points do you think you're going to go to when you do start the Thousand Sons?
No more than 10,000.
Start small then, yeah?
Yeah, as long as it can fit in one KR case, winner.
He's going to verge on bullying at some point, Phil. Nurglings put, haha, yeah, the Primarchs are these infallible things led by an omnipotent god, I can't speak, and yet they still screwed up the galaxy, which is what you were saying. It's the whole downside. These godlike Primarchs that end up doing slightest things wrong and just ruining everything.
I always blame Logar.
Yeah, this is what I did.
Blame Logar. And to be honest, right, I just don't rate him whatsoever. I read the book and I was expecting this guy to be ace. And he's not really. He just got tricked and went into the spoiler alert. And he went back into the past and just changed it. And I was oh.
Have you read the first Heretic yet?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's why it's just like watching everyone fight and just get stuck in, lad. You're a Primarch. It's just like watching. Is it like Chorus? Yeah. Raven Guard guy just running around, just running around smashing his own men. And what's he doing? Just stood at back, just chilling.
No, he had a fight with him, didn't he? Lorgar had a big, massive duel with Lorgar. Spoiler alert! And ended up getting saved. But I mean, that book led me to really like the Word Bearers. I hated the Word Bearers up until that point.
I like the Word Bearers as a legion. I think they're proper badass, especially those Call Farron guy. Yeah, they're sick. They're well good. Yeah. I didn't really. The most upsetting spiral is when that woman dies. I was just like, after all that, she's dead.
Yeah, but that was a big part of the background behind Argyll Tower, wasn't it? And his story progression. So I loved it absolutely. If you haven't read the first Heretic, even if you hate word bearers, just read it or listen to the audiobook. It's well worth it.
It's proper confusing in parts though. Like, I was so lost so many times.
There's a lot of name dropping all the way through it.
That bit at the beginning got read so much because I was just like, who's this guy? Oh yeah, he's from 3 chapters ago. Alright, and
it's like one of those adventure books. When you're a kid and you have to keep going backwards and forwards. You're doing that with like the names of all the characters.
Yeah. And then I was like, is that the demon guy or is that his brother? I don't really know. I'm well lost.
So we're getting Fulgrim is the best Primarch. We all know that from Willie Wilson. World Eaters for the win. What else? Look at the Emperor. He's made the biggest mess of them all. He just sits there in his armchair sleeping or pretending to sleep anyway.
Sleeping lions.
The problem. This is the problem I had to pick one. Is that there's so many. I think every Primarch is brilliant in his own way. And that's what I really like about it. So it was difficult for me to pick. In the end, I just picked Conrad Kurz, because that was that was my first Legion that I started with, and I love the model for a start. It's so dynamic and brilliant, but the backstory to him's just amazing. Like, he gets dumped on a planet, it's pretty much like a Necromunda hive world, and he ends up becoming Batman that actually kills people. He basically spoiler alert. He becomes Batman, but he basically rules this world through fear, and all of these criminal gang leaders and bosses of all the different industries on there are being kept under control by Kurz. If somebody steps out of line, he just kills somebody and goes, right, look, I've just killed all of these, this will happen to you as well. And it was just brilliant. And I'm going to spoil again another bit of the Night Lord's background, so just don't listen to this next bit. But he ends up joining the Crusade with the Emperor and doing all of that stuff, and he ends up going back to his planet, and everything's gone out of control, and he's so fed up and so annoyed by everything that's happened. Major spoiler alert. He's so annoyed. This is what I absolutely love about him, because he's like Batman but cool. He just annihilates, he exterminates the planet, and he's just like, yeah, goodbye, I told you what to do, you didn't listen, say goodbye to everybody that's on it. So he's kind of good, but he's also evil. He doesn't necessarily join Chaos. He's not bothered about the Chaos Gods. He just doesn't want to be a loyalist, basically. And I love the torture aspect of the Night Lords in general, but the fact that if somebody steps out of line too much, they'll still get put into a different bracket and beaten for it. And there's another bit. Sorry, go on. I've got another bit.
I was just going to say, I love the way Spud reacted when you said, like, Conrad Kurz. It's exactly how I react when you've ordered food at a restaurant and somebody else's meal looks better than yours when it arrives. It's like, I
can't believe I didn't get that.
Man, I should have gone for the...
So they ordered the Conrad Kurz.
Nerglin's 99% sure, which is pretty sure, isn't it, that Mortarion is the best Primarch. I mean, coming from a guy...
Papa Nurgle,
to be Papa Nurgle, that's no major surprise, but he's probably right. And by the way, my son Jack, of course, does Death Guard, and he is a proper Mortarion fan. He just thinks he's the best Primarch, full stop. I know he doesn't get to pick one, but... He's kind of, he's gone through the book, the Heresy books, and he just, all he does is tell stories about how fantastic he is. And then he's like in a crowd of poison, and he just kills a bunch of people, and he breathes poison, and he like...
Spoiler alert.
It's just fantastic. So, I understand the Mortarion thing, and it's going to be interesting, isn't it? What a demon Mortarion is going to look like. I think that's pretty exciting. Was there a Mortarion model for Epic that it could possibly be based on then? Does anybody know that?
That was before my time.
Yeah, well before my time.
Okay.
Go on, Phil. Explain to us what happened in the Dark Ages.
There was...
in the Heresy.
In the Heresy days, before any of you were born, there was a game called Epic, which was like a different scale version of 40k. I can't believe I'm explaining this.
I know it was. I know what game it was. It's
Yeah,
like a
I know.
miniature.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, you could get the Demon Primarchs in Epic, and Magnus. I mean, it's hilarious if you just Google Magnus Epic model. He's basically like a giant one-eyed orangutan with bat wings. So I'm glad they didn't use that. But of course, Fulgrim is half serpent, half bat wing, half sort of humanoid torso. But I just don't know whether they ever did a Mortarian one. Because I think the Fulgrim one might end up being fairly similar to what the Epic one looked like. But it's just, I just wondered. I wondered whether there was a hint in there of what it might end up looking like. Because they do go back to some of the old sculpts, don't they, for inspiration?
Well, in terms of inspiration, there's the Tales of Heresy book. I can't remember the name of the book, but I've got like this big tome. It's like that thick. It's huge.
Oh yeah.
But that's got loads of artwork. It's all it's a compilation of all of the artwork from the Heresy, and there's so many good bits in there that you can look through for characters and like legion markings and all the different conversions that you might want to do for your units. So there's some brilliant stuff in there, but there's probably loads more like that on the internet somewhere. I don't know. Right, shall we go on to another topic? Got a couple left. We've got 10 minutes still.
Go for it.
Yes.
Let's do which order do your models, or what's the process to painting your army? We'll start with Spudicus.
I always try to go for my troops first. Is that what this means?
Yes.
Yeah, so I always try my best to do troops, then elites, and the characters, because if I do it the other way around and there's loads of troops, I just won't do them because I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty bored. So I that's which way. Like vehicles as well. Vehicles can go anywhere because like I don't think I like painting vehicles, and they're quite easy to do because I've got an airbrush, so it's all right.
Pretty straightforward process, at least.
Yeah, that's me.
I'll do mine. Mine's pretty much the same. Apart from I start with bases, I do an entire army's worth of bases because I love the base. I'm all about the base. Like Rachel's got about 100 here, which I'm finishing up, and then once they're out the way, I'm happy to then move on to the models. And when the models are painted, they just get stuck on the base and they go in a case, which has already been planned for them. So that's my process for what I start with, and I do the same. I get the vehicles out the way because I hate painting vehicles. Although I don't have an airbrush, I just go around to Phil's and see if he can paint it for me. And then troops, because troops are boring most of the time, and then I leave the heroes for the nice reward at the end. Although sometimes I will do like 10 troops and then a hero as like a reward for getting through 10, and then do another 10 and then another hero. So that's my process, nice and quick and easy. Mike, do you want to do yours?
Well, I was always taught, do your troops, work your way up to the heroes, which I normally follow, but there is exceptions to that where I think it does look like a nice model. I could just start with sod it, and I'll go straight for the big centerpiece of the models first, which I probably shouldn't do, but I can't resist sometimes. But as a rule, I would normally go troops and work my way up to the characters.
Yeah. As a reward.
Yes.
Well, the things that are amazing, aren't they? The big characters like Thanquol from Age of Sigmar and Archeon and all those big characters, they're quite daunting but rewarding at the same time. Okay, Phil. How do you get your armies done in a day?
Depends on what army. Like my Eldar army is a long burn, so first and foremost, I try and do it balanced. So I won't do all my vehicles, I won't do all my troops. I kind of, because I'll only play with painted models, I at least try and get to kind of that, well, in the days of where you used to have a force organization chart, which forced you to have 2 troops in the HQ, etc. I'd work my way through like that, which made me kind of remain disciplined of thinking, well, I'd like to take those to the next game and try them out. So I'd get them on the table and paint them. There are other things like, Wraith Lords that they're more like a sugary, spicy treat, which I just go back to, if I'm really feeling low on hobby mojo, then I'll go make myself some crazy Wraith Lord, and that always works for me. But then there are others like Tyranids and Sylvan F. I did the same approach to those, which was essentially to go, you know, I want about 2,000 or 3,000 points. So take the silver Nef, I think I aimed for 3,000 points in there. And over a few weeks, I bought the models, left them all in the box, and then I just went crazy. I had like 48 hours of building. And then about, you know, realistically, although you guys always tell the story, I painted 3,000 silver Nef in 3 days. I don't think that was true.
It might have been 4.
It took me, it was about 5. It was about 5 or 6 days. I think 6 days if you count doing the bases.
Do you know what highlighted the speed of that? It was when we were sitting on Google Hangouts and he was going 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then the next model would be like 1 minute and 20 seconds. Then by the end of the day, he'd be like, oh, I've completed them to about a minute on average per dryad, start to finish. He was timing them on a minute basis to see if he could speed up the process. It was that disgusting.
I was doing a proper time and motion on it. I had something like 60 dryads to do, and I was thinking I don't want to spend more than like 3-4 hours on that. So I was thinking I've got to get them down to like a minute a model. You know, if I can get them down to that, then I'll be really happy.
Just crush everybody else's soul. We've got some comments here, so we're going to read these out. We've got quite a few actually. People have been chatting away in this comments.
Yeah, people, Sam. People have also been leaving the live chat because you've been dishing out spoilers.
It wasn't because of spoilers. It wasn't because of spoilers.
Can you refrain from that in future?
I only gave one spoiler.
Yeah, I started it. I'm sorry.
The end of a book.
Yeah, it was Spud's fault. It wasn't the end of the book. It was the start, actually.
And Frodo throws the ring into the mountain.
Oh, well done.
Oh, I've not seen that film yet. Oh.
Right. I don't even know where I was up to now. Right. Rob Norton. Airbrush is a must for clean vehicles. Kabams, I'm not going to read that out because I love my bases. Green Stuff Games, got to wash the dishes. I'll have a listen later. See you later, Green Stuff. Mr. Cragum Gaming, I mix it up, do 3 models from a unit and then switch unit. Yep, that's good.
Good idea.
Lord Tattoo, I paint clean vehicles by hand. Nurgling, personally, I don't collect a specific army anymore. Just keep on buying giants, renegades, and chaos warriors, and just paint them as I rediscover them in my lead pile. That's one way of painting stuff. Just put your hand in a box and see what comes out.
Nurgling's got some seriously cool sort of retro models in his collection, haven't he? I absolutely love it.
I was watching his channel last night, and it was painting. It was building his obliterators, and it was brilliant. And looking on the Dark Age of Sigmar Facebook page at all the little conversions that people are doing on there, I'm properly inspired at the moment just to do warbands. And his obliterators reminded me of that, like proper custom, unique obliterators, where he's just stuck cogs, green stuff, cabling, and all sorts on them, and made some proper good models.
I'll tell you what, Nurgling, if you're still listening in, if Sam hasn't spoiled the film for you, I've got a Nick Lund Goblin War Giant, stands about 7 inches tall, made out of lead. It's more or less solid, weighs an absolute ton, and it's in my, this is embarrassing to admit, it's been in my bit box longer than Sam's been on the planet. So if you're UK based, because it cost about £80 to post anyway, let me know, and it can go to a good home, because I think it would make a perfect addition to your giant collection, mate. So let me know, you can have it.
Yeah, giveaway.
Yeah, hobby love.
What else we got? Kablams, I tend to just paint 1 unit at a time up to tabletop, then forget about painting, and then to a higher standard. Yeah, my problem is I always varnish them at the end of painting, so it's difficult to go back to them, which is why I like to finish the models. And I can't find dual coat in the UK anymore. I was looking last night and I was proper upset because I use the Create Effects stuff, and nowhere sells it in the UK anymore. So if anybody knows where to get it from, let me know, please. Because Purity Seal has destroyed my Conrad Kurz model. I was really annoyed with that.
Is that the guy that killed his entire planet?
Oh, God. Why would you say that?
And then he dropped the ring in the mountain.
Yeah.
And then it came back and it found out that someone else was his dad.
And it turns out he was Kaiser Safer after all.
We won't do story. We won't do fluff from now on because I don't like getting told off. You know, or we just say spoiler alert for a subject, and then we can say what we want, and we can make things up as well and make people cry. No, we won't do that.
That was so neat.
We'll do it with Spud. Yeah, fine. We'll do it. We'll do a special. We'll do a special fluff story.
Kablam's on the chat saying one of my tactics here. I think it's great. I tend to paint 1 unit up at a time to tabletop, and then forget about painting them to any higher standard. The amount of units I've got to tabletop and put to one side and went, because I can always come back and add a bit more detail. You never go back, do you? Never ever.
This is proof that Phil does not listen to a word I say, because I just read that comment out. I literally just read that comment out, and Phil's like, yeah, brilliant. And then reads it out again as if he's never heard it. Did you listen to that, Phil?
I think Phil's a little bit delayed to it.
Sorry, man. I was reading the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. We're here. Just read the chat. Do you want to just sit in the chat?
That's okay.
Right. Okay. We'll do this last one quickly because we're coming up to an hour. So we are on. I know it's very difficult in it, Spud. We'll do this quickly. We'll do this really quickly because Phil's falling asleep. He's not even paying attention. Spud's sighing away, and I'm spoiling Warhammer 30k, and I'll soon to spoil 40k. So let's just get this done. Mike's being really quiet, as always.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. What currently available model are you most excited to get in the future? So not what do you want to come out, but what is available that you want to buy next. Oh, and Dance Macabre's just told me where to get dual coat from. Mike, what are you looking forward to, Mike?
Oh, I'm trying to think of the name. It would be to go with my Skaven. It's them.
Yeah.
Is it Vermin Lords? The big giant rats. I definitely think I want to get one of them. Maybe a couple. So I think that'd be quite fun to work on together with the rats as well.
Yeah. And which one would you build it as? Because I think you can have like 5 different variants, can't you?
I'm not entirely. There's a lot of versions of it. I'd need to have a look because I think they all. I don't know. I don't know which one I'd go for, to be honest. They all look good.
Okay, that was nice, short and sweet. Phil, what are you looking forward to buying next?
Oh, Sam, Dance Macabre has just said there's somewhere that's doing dual coat, so you want to take that out on the...
Oh, Phil. Thanks for that.
Oh, wait a minute. Kiblin's just put, I tend to just paint 1 unit at a time, which I forget about painting to a higher standard.
I'm out.
Right. Okay. What was I saying? What model that's currently out that I would really, really like to have next? Magnus. Simple as that. Oh wait.
It's not out. It's not out. The 30k one isn't.
No, I'm talking about the 40k, but I am changing my mind. I really want to do the, and it's embarrassing because I can't remember its name, but the demon, the Zeech demon with the 2 heads. Someone help me out.
Kairos Fate Weaver.
Kairos Fate Weaver.
Fate Weaver, yes. Thank you very much. Fate Weaver, definitely.
Yes, it's an awesome model. And you've got the Zeech models to go with it, which you need to do.
I have indeed.
Mr. Wargamer Viking, what are you looking forward to most next?
I'd really like some custodes, or the custode contempt to dreadnought thing.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. I'd really like to have a go at one of them. I'd also like Conrad Crow. I'd do like a dire army with like Conrad Kurz with Bilbo Baggins stood next to him. Pretty cool. Like Conrad stood like this, and obviously Bilbo's stood like this, and just take it. I don't want you to destroy the Hobbit up there. I don't want you to destroy Hobbiton. Just take it.
He'd have been much better than Sauron, wouldn't he?
Oh, of course he would have been. Like Sauron
that.
literally just does not. Ah, spoiler alert. Like Sauron don't really do that much, does he? It's just a cloud in the sky. Yeah.
He's in a tower, but yeah, practically a cloud. I don't even know what my best next model thing is now.
I ain't eaten meat for 2 days, is what's happened.
It's just wasting away. I'm just going to pick one, which I've got on my to buy list, which is I think his name's Zardu Leak. It's one of the word bearer models from Forge World. He's got like a big staff, and then he's got 2 bodyguard Gal Vorbak with him. That's the pack of models I want the most. So that's my next thing to buy, I think. And that's it. Questions are done. Bullying over for this week. Adrian's just joined us. Evening, guys. You have literally just missed us, but that's a shame. Right. Thank you, Spud.
Rewind for spoilers.
Yeah.
All the spoilers.
Rewind for spoilers. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm not sorry. I did shout spoiler. Thank you, Wargamer Viking, for joining us another week.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a real pleasure. I love chilling out. It's nice. Thank you guys. Loads.
No problem at all. Thank you, Mike, for joining us. We'll talk about Mike in future chats because Mike has been he's been behind the scenes with us since last for years now, haven't you? We'll talk about this.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll talk about this next week maybe because we'll do the 40k Tale of Warlord special weekly thing.
Sam,
Phil.
Just before you round up, I remember right back at the early start of the chat, I did promise to mention the Leamington Gaming Club tournament that's taking place this weekend on Sunday. We've posted details up on our Facebook group anyway. We're going to be down there with the cameras and stuff. So if you're in the area, sort of Warwickshire way, all the details are on the Facebook page. But we'll be there and come and say hello.
Yeah, nice plug for that tournament. It'll be quite good. And Mark, who runs the shop, has got loads of cool models to sell. It's not just GW. They do everything like Guild Ball and other stuff. Devil's Run.
Nice one,
they've got loads of stuff there. I mean, I walk in and it's like a sweet shop. It's just amazing. Got models. Kiblams, I used to date a girl down in Leamington. Yes.
Well, hop down, connect back up maybe, and come down to the tournament.
But thank you everybody who's been joining us in the chat. It's been awesome. It's been quite a lot of people tonight, which has been great to see, and everybody chatting along. Thanks to everybody who is already on our Facebook group, which is WargamerOnline Space Community. If you're not on there already, just join and you can post up whatever you want, as long as it's hobby related and not spam, because we don't like spam. And also another thank you actually to everybody who has been on the website wargameronline.com. We've got quite a lot of people joining, making free accounts just to access all of our freemium videos, and there's a lot of people who have subscribed for the premium membership, and there's loads more on the way for that. So just another thank you for that. We're going to put some more content up, and we'll see you all next week. We'll sort out guests and questions, and if you have anything you want to ask us, pop it in the comments below and we'll try and get around to it next week. Other than that, we will see you all again.
Bye.
See ya.
What time is it, Phil? Credit time.
Oh, it's time for credits.
Credits.